Dr. Paul Carter sat at his desk in the Deep Space Communications Center. He had been working the night shift for 3 years now. Most nights were quiet. The big screens showed empty space with tiny dots of light from distant stars. Nothing ever happened. Tonight felt different. The main computer started beeping. Paul looked at the screen and saw something that made his heart race. A signal was coming from the edge of the solar system. But this was not just any signal. The computer showed numbers that Paul recognized. They were the identification codes for the stellar dawn. Paul stared at the screen for a long moment. The stellar dawn had been gone for 15 years. Everyone thought the ship was destroyed when it tried to jump to faster-than-light speed for the first time. The whole crew was supposed to be dead. He picked up his phone and called Captain Lisa Morgan. She was the head of mission control at Space Command. Her voice sounded tired when she answered. "This better be important, Paul. It's 3 in the morning. Captain, you need to get down here right now. I'm picking up a signal with stellar dawn's codes." There was silence on the phone. Then Lisa spoke very slowly. "That's impossible. Run a full diagnostic on your equipment." Paul had already done that twice. "The equipment is working fine, Captain. The signal is real and it's getting stronger. I think something is coming toward Earth." 20 minutes later, Captain Morgan walked into the communications center. She looked at the data on Paul's screen. Her face went pale. She picked up the red phone that connected directly to Admiral Kate Williams. "Admiral, we have a situation. You need to authorize a full deep space scan immediately." Admiral Williams arrived an hour later with Commander Jake Sullivan. Jake had been on the sister ship to Stellar Dawn and knew the crew personally. He looked at the signal data with sad eyes. "Those are definitely Ben Harris's codes," Jake said quietly. "But how is this possible?" Admiral Williams ordered the big space telescopes to turn toward the signal source. What they saw made everyone in the room go silent. A ship was coming toward Earth. It looked exactly like Stellar Dawn, but something was different. The hull had strange markings that glowed with a soft blue light. Parts of the ship seemed to have been rebuilt with materials that human technology had never seen before. "How fast is it moving?" Admiral Williams asked. Paul checked his instruments. "According to these readings, it's traveling at about half the speed of light. But that should be impossible. We don't have engines that can do that." Captain Morgan leaned over Paul's shoulder to look at the data. "How long until it reaches Earth?" "At its current speed, about 6 hours until it reaches the outer planets." "But Captain, it's slowing down, like it knows exactly where it wants to go." Commander Sullivan pulled up old files about the Stellar Dawn mission. The ship had a crew of 4. Captain Ben Harris, Dr. Amy Foster, Lieutenant Ryan Clark, and Sergeant Maria Santos. They were all experienced space travelers. Ben was one of our best captains. Admiral Williams made a decision. "I want full security protocols activated. Move all civilian traffic away from Luna Station. If this really is Stellar Dawn, they'll want to dock there first." As the hours passed, more details became clear. The ship was definitely Stellar Dawn, but it had been changed in ways that human science could not explain. The energy readings from its engines were unlike anything Earth had ever built. Whatever was powering that ship was far beyond current human technology. At exactly 9 in the morning, a voice came through the communication system. Everyone in the control room recognized it immediately. "Earth Control, this is Captain Ben Harris of the exploration vessel Stellar Dawn requesting permission to dock at Luna Station. We are returning from our mission with important information for humanity." The voice sounded exactly the same as it had 15 years ago. Captain Morgan looked at the others in the room. How could Ben Harris sound so young after 15 years in space? Admiral Williams took the microphone. "Stellar Dawn, this is Admiral Williams of Earth Space Command. Please confirm your identity and explain where you have been for the past 15 years. "Admiral, I understand your confusion. We have much to explain. The short answer is that we did not crash during our faster-than-light test. We were transported across the galaxy by technology we did not understand. We have spent 15 years learning from other intelligent species. We are returning with knowledge that will change everything for humanity." Commander Sullivan leaned forward. "Ben, is that really you? What happened to your crew?" "Jake, good to hear your voice, old friend. The entire crew is alive and well. We all have stories to tell that you will find hard to believe. But first we need to dock safely. We are carrying technology and information that certain forces in the galaxy would kill to possess." Admiral Williams looked at her security chief. The man nodded. Luna Station had been cleared and was under heavy guard. "Stellar Dawn, you are cleared to dock at Luna Station. Security teams will meet you there. I hope you understand that we must take precautions. Understood, Admiral. We expected as much. You should know that we are not the same humans who left Earth 15 years ago. We have been changed by our experiences. But we are still loyal to Earth and to humanity. We return as friends, not as strangers. The communication ended. Everyone in the control room stared at each other. In 6 hours, they would see the crew of Stellar Dawn again. People who should have been dead for 15 years were coming home with impossible technology and stories about other intelligent species in the galaxy. Captain Morgan began organizing teams to meet the returning ship, medical teams to check the crew's health, scientists to study their technology, security teams to protect them from anyone who might want to steal their secrets. Dr. Carter continued monitoring the ship's approach. The energy readings kept getting stranger. Whatever was powering Stellar Dawn was unlike anything humans had ever built. It was technology from somewhere else. Technology from other worlds. As the ship came closer, one thing became very clear. The crew of Stellar Dawn had found something incredible out there in the galaxy. Something that would change the future of humanity forever. The question was whether Earth was ready for what they had brought home. The docking bay at Luna Station was filled with people waiting to see the impossible. Captain Lisa Morgan stood with Admiral Kate Williams and Commander Jake Sullivan behind a thick glass wall. Medical teams and security guards were ready. Everyone wanted to see the crew that should have been dead for 15 years. Stellar Dawn moved slowly into the docking bay. The ship looked familiar but wrong at the same time. The hull had new sections that seemed to be made from materials that shifted color in the light. Strange symbols were carved into the metal. They glowed with a soft blue energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. The docking clamps locked into place. Everyone held their breath as the airlock opened. 4 people stepped out of the ship. Captain Morgan gasped. The crew looked exactly the same as they had 15 years ago. Captain Ben Harris still had dark hair with no gray. Dr. Amy Foster looked like she was still 30 years old. Lieutenant Ryan Clark and Sergeant Maria Santos appeared to have not aged a single day. Commander Sullivan pressed his face against the glass. That's impossible. People don't stay young for 15 years without aging. The medical team moved forward with their equipment. They ran scanners over each crew member. Dr. Helen Wong, the chief medical officer, looked at her readings with confusion. She spoke into her radio. Admiral, these readings are strange. They are definitely human, but their cellular structure has been modified. Their bodies show signs of enhancement that our medical science cannot explain. Captain Harris looked up at the observation window and waved. His smile was the same one Jake remembered from years ago. The security team escorted the crew to a meeting room where Admiral Williams waited. When the door opened, Ben Harris walked in like he had never been gone. He shook hands with Admiral Williams and hugged Commander Sullivan. "Jake, you look older," Ben said with a grin. "Time has been kind to us, but not so much to you." Admiral Williams sat down at the table. "Captain Harris, I need you to explain what happened to your ship and crew. Our records show that Stellar Dawn was destroyed during your faster-than-light test 15 years ago." Ben nodded. "We thought we were going to die too. The experimental drive failed, but not in the way we expected. Instead of exploding, it opened some kind of doorway. We found ourselves pulled through space faster than light, but not by our own technology." Dr. Amy Foster opened a case she had brought from the ship. Inside was a device that looked like a crown made of crystal and metal. It glowed with the same blue light as their ship. "This is called a neural interface crown," Amy explained. "It allows direct connection between a human mind and computer systems. But not just our computers. Any computer system from any intelligent species in the galaxy." She placed the crown on her head. Immediately, the lights in the room dimmed and the wall screens came alive with images. Pictures of alien worlds, strange creatures and cities that defied human understanding flashed across the displays. "We were transported by an ancient network called the Conduit System," Amy continued. "It connects thousands of worlds across the galaxy. We spent 15 years learning from various alien civilizations. They taught us about technology, science, and the true nature of the universe." Lieutenant Ryan Clark stepped forward. "The most important thing we learned is about humanity itself. We discovered that humans have a unique ability that no other species in the galaxy possesses." Admiral Williams leaned forward. "What kind of ability?" Ryan smiled. "We can adapt to and improve any alien technology we encounter. Other species in the galaxy are specialized. The Zilani are masters of energy. The Koroth understand biology perfectly. The Vex have built the most advanced computer systems ever created, but they can only work with their own technology. Sergeant Maria Santos pulled out another device. It looked like a small cube that floated in the air above her hand. Humans can learn any alien technology and make it better, Maria explained. This gravity manipulator was originally created by a species called the Flothan. It could only lift objects weighing less than 10 pounds. After studying it for a few months, we improved it to lift objects weighing several tons. Dr. Foster removed the crown and looked directly at Admiral Williams. The galaxy contains over 2,000 intelligent species organized into different groups and alliances. Most of them have never heard of humanity, but there are some who have been watching Earth for a long time. Captain Harris pulled up a chair. We were not randomly selected for transport through the conduit system. An ancient species called the Architects chose us deliberately. They wanted to test whether humans really had this adaptive ability. Commander Sullivan looked confused. Why would they care about that? Amy Foster answered. Because the galaxy is facing a crisis. For thousands of years, different species have been unable to share technology effectively. Each race has developed along specialized lines. The Architects believe that humanity could be the bridge between different civilizations. Captain Harris continued the explanation. But not everyone in the galaxy wants humanity to succeed. There is a powerful alliance called the Hegemony. They control much of the galactic trade and technology. They see human adaptability as a threat to their power. Maria Santos looked serious. The Hegemony has been planning to either control humanity or destroy Earth before we can spread our influence. They know that if humans reach other worlds, we will upset the balance of power that has existed for centuries. Admiral Williams stood up. Are you saying that Earth is in danger? Ryan Clark nodded. Long-range sensors on our ship detected multiple fleets moving toward the solar system. The Hegemony is coming, but so are potential allies. The Zilani Federation wants to work with humanity. They believe that our adaptive abilities could benefit all species. Dr. Foster opened another case. This one contained what looked like a small engine the size of a coffee cup. This is a power source that we developed by combining technology from 6 different alien species, she explained. It produces more energy than our largest fusion reactors, but is small enough to hold in your hands. With human modifications, we made it 100 times more efficient than the original designs. Captain Harris looked around the room. We have returned to Earth with enough knowledge to build starships that surpass anything currently in the galaxy. We can create weapons and defenses that will protect our world. But more importantly, we can fulfill humanity's destiny as the species that unites the galaxy through technological cooperation. Admiral Williams was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. How long do we have before these alien fleets arrive? Maria Santos checked a device on her wrist. Based on our calculations, the first ships will reach the edge of the solar system within 72 hours. The room went silent. In 3 days, humanity would make contact with alien civilizations for the first time. Earth would either find its place among the stars or face destruction by forces beyond imagination. Captain Harris stood up. Admiral, we request permission to begin immediately sharing our knowledge with Earth scientists and engineers. Humanity has very little time to prepare for what is coming. Dr. Helen Wong stared at the neural interface crown that Dr. Amy Foster had placed on the table. 3 days had passed since the crew of Stellar Dawn returned to Earth. Scientists and engineers from around the world had gathered at Luna Station to learn about the alien technology. You want me to put this device on my head? Helen asked nervously. Amy nodded. The crown will connect your mind directly to our ship's database. You will see everything we learned during our 15 years in the galaxy. But I must warn you, the experience can be overwhelming. General Robert Price, the military representative, looked concerned. Is it safe? What if this device changes her mind somehow? Captain Ben Harris answered. We have all used the interface hundreds of times. It does not cause permanent changes to human thought. It simply allows access to information that would take years to learn through normal methods. Helen took a deep breath and picked up the crown. It felt warm in her hands and seemed to vibrate with energy. She placed it on her head and immediately felt a strange tingling sensation. Suddenly, her mind was flooded with images and information. She saw vast cities floating in space, creatures that looked like living crystals working alongside beings made of pure energy. Worlds covered in oceans where intelligent sea life had built underwater civilizations. The information came faster now. She learned about the Zilani Federation. a group of species that shared energy-based technology. Their worlds were powered by stars that they had learned to control. The Korath Alliance specialized in biological sciences and had eliminated disease and aging from their societies. Helen saw the Vex computational matrix, where artificial intelligence had evolved beyond anything humans could imagine. Entire planets functioned as single computer systems that could solve problems across the galaxy in seconds. But then she saw something that frightened her. The hegemony was a collection of the most powerful species in the galaxy. They controlled trade routes, mining operations, and military technology. For thousands of years, they had maintained power by keeping other species dependent on specialized technologies. The crown showed her why humanity was different. While other species had evolved to excel in specific areas, humans had developed something unique. Human brains could understand and adapt to any technology they encountered. More importantly, humans could take alien technology and improve it in ways the original creators never imagined. Dr. Foster watched as Helen's eyes grew wide with wonder and fear. "You're seeing it now, aren't you? The true scope of galactic civilization?" Helen nodded, unable to speak. The images continued flowing through her mind. She saw the architects, the ancient species that had built the conduit system. They had evolved beyond physical form thousands of years ago, and now existed as beings of pure consciousness. The architects had been searching the galaxy for a species like humanity for millions of years. They needed a race that could bridge the gap between different types of technology and bring various civilizations together. Professor Carl Johnson, Earth's leading technology specialist, leaned forward. "What exactly makes humans so special compared to these other species?" Lieutenant Ryan Clark answered. "Other species think in very specific ways because of how they evolved. The Zilani can only understand energy-based systems. The Korath only work with biological technology. Humans think differently. We can learn any system and then find ways to make it work better." Helen removed the crown and sat back in her chair. Her hands were shaking. "There are over 2,000 intelligent species in the galaxy. Some of them have been traveling between stars for millions of years, and they've been waiting for us." Amy Foster pulled out a star map that showed the local area of the galaxy. Red dots marked hegemony worlds. Blue dots showed Zilani Federation territory. Green dots represented independent species and trading groups. "The galaxy is divided into several major powers," Amy explained. "The hegemony controls about 30% of inhabited worlds. The Zilani Federation has another 20%. The rest is split between smaller alliances and independent systems." Sergeant Maria Santos pointed to a section of the map near Earth. "This entire region has been under hegemony influence for centuries. They have mining operations and military bases throughout hundreds of star systems. Earth sits right in the middle of territory they consider their own." General Price studied the map carefully. "So we're surrounded by potentially hostile forces?" Captain Harris nodded grimly. "The hegemony sees humanity as a threat that must be controlled or eliminated. Our ability to adapt their technology could undermine their power structure. If humans spread throughout the galaxy, we could help other species become independent." Dr. Wong looked at the neural interface crown again. "This device alone could revolutionize Earth's technology. How many other innovations did you bring back?" Ryan Clark smiled. "We have improvements to faster-than-light travel that make it 100 times more efficient. Energy sources that could power entire cities. Medical technology that could extend human life by centuries. Weapons and defense systems that surpass anything the hegemony currently uses." Amy Foster opened another case containing what looked like a small crystal. "This is a communication device that works instantly across any distance. We can talk to someone on the other side of the galaxy with no delay. It uses quantum entanglement principles that Earth scientists are just beginning to understand." Professor Johnson picked up the crystal and examined it closely. "How long would it take to build copies of this?" "With human modifications to the design, we could have a working copy in about 6 hours," Amy replied. "That's another advantage humans have. We can reverse engineer alien technology much faster than the original creators developed it." General Price looked worried. "You said alien fleets are approaching our solar system. When will they arrive?" Maria Santos checked her instruments. "Long-range sensors show 3 separate groups of ships. The closest will reach the outer planets in 18 hours. The second group will arrive 6 hours later. The third group is moving more slowly and won't get here for another 3 days." Captain Harris stood up and walked to the window that looked out into space. The first group appears to be Zilani Federation ships. They're coming as potential allies. The second group is definitely hegemony military vessels. The third group consists of free trader ships looking for new business opportunities. Helen Wong felt overwhelmed by everything she had learned. So in less than a day, humanity will make first contact with alien civilizations? Amy Foster nodded. And we need to be ready. The hegemony will try to force Earth to surrender our independence. The Zilani want to form an alliance. The free traders want to establish trade relationships. Ryan Clark activated a holographic display that showed the approaching ships. The hegemony fleet consists of 50 warships. The Zilani have sent 20 diplomatic vessels with light escort ships. The free traders are bringing a mix of cargo ships and protection vessels. General Price looked at the display with concern. 50 warships against 20 diplomatic ships. The odds don't look good for peaceful contact. Captain Harris turned back to the group. That's why we need to act quickly. Earth must demonstrate that humanity is strong enough to defend itself, but wise enough to choose cooperation over conflict. Dr. Foster pulled out the plans for their modified ship technology. We can help Earth build its own fleet using improved versions of alien designs. Human adaptability means our ships will be superior to anything currently in the galaxy. Professor Johnson studied the technical plans. How many ships could we build with these designs? With the resources available on Earth and in the asteroid belt, we could construct 20 advanced starships within the next 12 hours, Ryan answered. They would be faster, more powerful and better defended than traditional hegemony or Zilani vessels. Maria Santos looked serious. But first contact isn't just about military strength. We need to show the galaxy that humanity deserves a place among the stars as equals, not as subjects or enemies. The room fell silent as everyone considered the magnitude of what was about to happen. In less than a day, Earth would no longer be alone in the universe. Humanity would either find its destiny among the stars or face subjugation by forces beyond imagination. Captain Tony Martinez stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova, Earth's first starship built with alien technology. Around him, the crew worked at control stations that seemed to respond to their thoughts as much as their hands. The neural interface technology from Stellar Dawn had been integrated into every system on the ship. Captain, we have 3 alien fleets positioning themselves at the edge of our solar system, reported Lieutenant Sarah Kim from the communications station. They're maintaining distance from each other, but all are clearly waiting for something. Tony looked at the main screen showing the positions of the alien ships. The Zilani Federation vessels glowed with soft golden light. The hegemony warships appeared dark and angular with weapon ports clearly visible. The free trader ships were a mix of different designs and colors. Dr. Nina Webb, Earth's newly appointed Director of Alien Relations, stood beside Tony's command chair. She had been chosen for the position because of her background in languages and diplomacy. Now she faced the challenge of speaking with beings from other worlds. Captain Harris, what should we expect from each group? Nina asked through the communication system linking Terra Nova to Stellar Dawn. Ben Harris's voice came through clearly. The Zilani will try to establish formal diplomatic contact first. They believe in following proper procedures. The hegemony will demand immediate surrender of our technology and submission to their authority. The free traders will want to know what goods and services we have available for trade. Admiral Kate Williams contacted the Terra Nova from Earth Command. Captain Martinez, you are authorized to make first contact on behalf of humanity. Dr. Webb will handle diplomatic communications. Remember, you represent all of Earth. Tony felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Everything humanity did in the next few hours would determine their future in the galaxy. He turned to his communications officer. Lieutenant Kim, open a channel to the Zilani Federation ships. The main screen flickered and showed the bridge of an alien vessel. The being who appeared on screen was tall and thin with golden skin that seemed to glow from within. Its eyes were large and completely black. When it spoke, the words were translated by the ship's computer. Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Ambassador Zethka of the Zilani Federation. We come seeking peaceful contact with your species. We have heard remarkable things about human abilities from the crew of your vessel Stellar Dawn. Dr. Webb stepped forward. Ambassador Zethka, I am Dr. Nina Webb representing Earth's government. We welcome peaceful contact with the Zilani Federation. What are your intentions regarding humanity? Zethka's expression seemed pleased. We wish to offer Earth membership in the Zilani Federation. Our analysis shows that human adaptability could benefit all species in our alliance. Together, we could achieve technological advances that no single species could accomplish alone. Before Nina could respond, another communication channel opened. This time, the screen showed a creature that looked like it was made of metal and circuits. Its voice was harsh and commanding. "Humans, I am War Master Grex of the Hegemony Authority. Your species will immediately surrender all alien technology in your possession and submit to hegemony oversight. Any resistance will be considered an act of war against lawful galactic authority." Tony looked at Dr. Webb, who took a deep breath before responding. "War Master Grex, humanity appreciates contact with the hegemony, but we must decline your demands. Earth claims the right to independence and self-determination." Grex's mechanical features twisted into what might have been anger. "Independence is not an option for primitive species. You will comply with hegemony directives or face the consequences of your defiance." A third communication channel opened, showing a bridge filled with beings of different species working together. The captain appeared to be a creature with blue skin and 4 arms. "Greetings, humans. I am Captain Veltar of the Free Trader Alliance. We come seeking profitable business relationships. We understand you have developed interesting modifications to standard galactic technology. Perhaps we can arrange mutually beneficial trade agreements?" Dr. Webb smiled at the more friendly approach. "Captain Veltar, Earth is interested in learning about galactic trade. What kinds of goods and services are commonly exchanged between worlds?" Captain Veltar's 4 arms gestured enthusiastically. "Oh, the possibilities are endless. Raw materials, finished goods, technology designs, cultural artifacts, entertainment media, scientific data. The galaxy is a vast marketplace for those who know how to navigate it properly." War Master Grex interrupted the conversation. "There will be no trade negotiations with unauthority species. Humans will surrender their technology and accept hegemony control immediately." Ambassador Zeth Ka responded calmly. "The hegemony does not speak for all galactic civilization. Earth has the right to choose its own path among the stars." Tony realized that the 3 alien groups were not just talking to Earth. They were also positioning themselves in relation to each other. The galaxy's political situation was more complex than anyone had imagined. Lieutenant Kim reported urgently. "Captain, I'm detecting weapons charging on the hegemony ships. They appear to be preparing for aggressive action." Dr. Amy Foster's voice came through from Stellar Dawn. "Tony, the hegemony is trying to force a confrontation. They want to demonstrate their power to intimidate both Earth and the Zilani Federation." Tony made a decision that would change everything. "All stations prepare for combat. Charge weapons and raise shields. We will not fire first, but we will defend ourselves if attacked." The Terra Nova's systems responded instantly to his commands. The ship's hull began glowing with the same blue energy that powered Stellar Dawn. Weapon ports opened along the sides of the vessel. The defensive shield generators hummed to life. War Master Grex appeared surprised by the quick response. "Impossible. Your technology should not be capable of such rapid activation." Captain Harris's voice came through on an open channel that all the alien ships could hear. "War Master, you are looking at human-improved versions of your own technology. Earth's defensive capabilities exceed anything your databases contain." 2 hegemony warships moved closer to Terra Nova in a threatening position. Tony watched their approach carefully. The aliens were testing Earth's resolve. "Captain Martinez," Admiral Williams called from Earth Command. "You are authorized to demonstrate our defensive capabilities if necessary." Tony nodded to his weapons officer. "Fire a warning shot across the bow of the lead hegemony ship. Show them that our weapons are functional." A bright beam of energy shot from Terra Nova's main cannon. It passed just in front of the hegemony warship and continued into empty space. The beam was more focused and powerful than anything the alien ship's sensors expected. War Master Grex's image flickered with what might have been fear. "Your weapons technology appears to have been significantly advanced beyond standard specifications." Ambassador Zeth Ka seemed impressed. "Remarkable. Human modifications have improved the efficiency of that energy cannon by at least 300%. Captain Veltar laughed with all 4 of his arms. "Fascinating. Humans can take existing technology and make it better. There are many species who would pay well for such improvements." Tony looked at Dr. Webb, who nodded back at him. It was time to make humanity's position clear to the entire galaxy. "Representatives of all alien civilizations," Tony announced. Earth claims its independence and the right to explore the galaxy freely. We seek peaceful relationships with all species, but will defend ourselves against any aggression. Humanity offers our unique abilities in service of technological advancement for the benefit of all civilizations. The communication channels went quiet. In that moment, humanity had declared its independence and taken its place among the stars. The question now was whether the galaxy would accept Earth as an equal partner, or view humanity as a threat to be eliminated. 6 months had passed since first contact with alien civilizations. President Sarah Mitchell stood in the command center of New Geneva Station, Earth's orbital headquarters for galactic affairs. Through the large windows, she could see 20 human starships patrolling the solar system. Each vessel incorporated technology improvements that made them superior to their alien counterparts. "Madam President," called Commander Lisa Morgan from the Exploration Division, "we've just received a priority message from the New Horizon. Captain Morgan has discovered something incredible near the galactic core." President Mitchell turned from the window. Lisa Morgan had been promoted to command the exploration vessel New Horizon after proving herself during the first contact crisis. The ship was Earth's most advanced vessel, capable of traveling across the galaxy in a matter of hours. "Put her through immediately," the president ordered. The main screen activated, showing Captain Lisa Morgan on the bridge of her ship. Behind her, the crew worked frantically at stations that glowed with alien technology. "Madam President, we've found what appears to be the largest architect facility ever discovered. It's a massive structure orbiting a black hole near the galactic center. Our sensors indicate it contains technology that could revolutionize civilization for every species in the galaxy." Dr. Amy Foster appeared on screen beside Captain Morgan. Amy had joined the New Horizon expedition to study architect technology and help unlock its secrets. "President Mitchell, this facility is different from anything we've encountered before. It's not just a collection of ancient machines. It appears to be some kind of consciousness preservation system. The architects may not be extinct after all." Admiral Ben Harris, now commanding Earth's growing fleet, joined the conversation from his flagship. "Madam President, our long-range sensors show that hegemony forces are also moving toward the galactic core. If they reach the facility first, they could gain access to technology that would make them unstoppable." President Mitchell felt the weight of decision on her shoulders. In 6 months, humanity had established 3 colonies using architect gateway technology. Earth's population had grown to love the idea of exploring and settling new worlds. But this discovery could change everything. "Captain Morgan, what do you recommend?" Lisa looked directly into the camera. "We need to reach that facility before the hegemony. The New Horizon is fast enough to get there first, but we may need backup if the hegemony decides to fight for control." Admiral Harris spoke up. "I can have 10 ships at the galactic core within 8 hours. Our improved drive systems will get us there before any hegemony fleet." Dr. Foster added important information. "Madam President, based on our analysis of the facility's energy patterns, I believe the architects are still alive inside it. They may have been waiting for a species like humanity to make contact." President Mitchell made her decision. "Captain Morgan, proceed to the facility immediately. Admiral Harris, take your fastest ships and provide support. Dr. Foster, try to establish communication with any architect presence you detect." The screen switched to show the New Horizon approaching the massive structure near the black hole. The facility was enormous, easily the size of a small moon. Its surface was covered with geometric patterns that pulsed with the same blue energy found in all architect technology. As the ship moved closer, the patterns began changing. The energy pulses synchronized with the New Horizon's approach, as if the facility was responding to their presence. Dr. Foster monitored her instruments carefully. "Captain, I'm detecting massive consciousness patterns within the structure. These aren't just recordings or artificial intelligence programs. These are actual living minds preserved in some kind of energy matrix." Suddenly, the ship's communication system activated without anyone touching the controls. A voice spoke that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "Welcome, synthesis-capable ones. We are the Architect Collective. We have been waiting for your arrival for longer than your species has existed." Captain Morgan looked at her crew with amazement. "This is Captain Lisa Morgan of the Earth vessel New Horizon. Are you the beings who built the conduit system and left technology throughout the galaxy? We are those you call architects, though we have evolved beyond the physical forms you knew. We did not die or disappear. We chose to transcend material existence and become beings of pure consciousness and energy. Dr. Foster leaned forward eagerly. Why did you leave your technology for other species to find? What was your purpose? The architect voice seemed pleased by the question. For millions of years, we watched the galaxy develop. Species after species evolved specialized abilities, but remained isolated from each other. Each race became expert in narrow fields, but could not bridge the gaps between different types of knowledge. The facility's energy patterns grew brighter as the architects continued speaking. We searched for a species that could serve as synthesis guides for galactic civilization. Beings who could understand any technology and help different species share their knowledge effectively. Captain Morgan understood. You were looking for humans specifically? Not humans specifically, but a species with your particular type of consciousness. Your brains developed the ability to adapt to any system you encounter. You can take technologies from different species and combine them in ways the original creators never imagined. President Mitchell, listening from Earth, joined the conversation. What do you want from humanity? We offer you access to our complete technological database, accumulated over millions of years of galactic observation. Faster-than-light travel that crosses the galaxy instantly. Energy sources that tap directly into the fundamental forces of the universe. Medical technology that could make death from aging or disease a choice rather than an inevitability. Dr. Foster felt excitement building. What would we need to do in return? Promise to share your improvements freely with all species. Use your synthesis abilities to help every civilization reach its full potential. Serve as guides and teachers rather than conquerors or rulers. Admiral Harris's voice came through from his approaching fleet. New horizon. We have hegemony ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of this system. Looks like 50 warships heading our way. The architect voice remained calm. The hegemony fears what humanity represents. They know that synthesis-capable species could end their control over galactic technology and trade. President Mitchell made the most important decision in human history. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we accept your offer. We promise to use our abilities to help all species advance together, rather than seeking dominance over others. The facility's energy patterns exploded into brilliant light. Information began flowing directly into the minds of every human on the new horizon. Knowledge of technologies beyond imagination filled their consciousness. Captain Morgan watched her instruments as the ship's systems began upgrading themselves automatically. The new horizon was becoming something far beyond a simple starship. President Mitchell, Lisa called out, the ship is transforming. We now have capabilities that I can barely understand. We could travel to any point in the galaxy instantly. Our weapons and defenses are beyond anything the hegemony possesses. Dr. Foster smiled as new knowledge filled her mind. I can see the plans for technologies that could terraform worlds in months instead of centuries. Medical devices that could repair any injury or disease. Communication systems that would connect every human across the galaxy. The approaching hegemony fleet suddenly stopped moving. Their ships had detected the energy explosion from the architect facility and realized that something fundamental had changed. Admiral Harris reported from his fleet. The hegemony ships are requesting communication. I think they want to negotiate rather than fight. President Mitchell understood that humanity had passed a crucial test. Open communications with all ships in the area. It's time to announce humanity's new role in galactic civilization. The screen showed representatives from multiple species, hegemony commanders, Zilani diplomats, free trader captains, and beings from dozens of other civilizations. Representatives of all galactic species, President Mitchell announced. Humanity has been chosen by the architects to serve as synthesis guides for all civilizations. We pledge to use our abilities to help every species achieve technological advancement. Earth hereby establishes the Galactic Synthesis Council, where all species can come to share knowledge and improve their technologies through human adaptation. The response was immediate. Ships from across the galaxy began changing course toward Earth's solar system. Species that had been isolated for centuries wanted to learn from human-adapted technologies. Dr. Foster looked at the data flowing through her mind and smiled. Humanity had found its purpose among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as the bridge that would help all galactic civilizations reach their full potential together. On Earth, children began learning to interface with technologies from dozens of different species, preparing for their roles as the galaxy's next generation of synthesis guides. Humanity had found its place among the stars and would help guide the galaxy toward a future that no single species could achieve alone.